Welcome to your first video. All right, we're going to talk about 7.NS.1A. Welcome to the first video for Mr. Clark's class. Okay, here's the standard we're going to deal with. It's 7th grade number sense, called this NS, and then there's a first part, and there's one standard, and there are 4 parts to it, so this is 1A. And this standard is actually describing situations in which opposite quantities combine to make 0. So there's a lot of different parts to this. A couple terms that we need to use. So we're going to do just a little vocabulary, just introduce some of these ideas. And what I want you to do is I want you to write down and take notes here. I'm going to show them to me in class tomorrow. You don't have to write everything. So I will oftentimes let you know which parts I think are important, maybe what you want to pause and write down. So especially in this video. And as you continue on throughout the year, I will let you know I will spend less time telling you what to write and assume that you probably understand and figure out along the way which ones are best for you to write down. Okay, well, let's get into this. A couple questions to think about. First, sort of out there in the real world or outside of the classroom, and this applies to the Chicagoland area here. If temperatures fall below freezing, how do we write them using a Celsius scale? And in this case, how do we even use them writing degrees Fahrenheit? Okay, and so you see a picture of a thermometer there, and think about that. All right, and then what about if you owe someone money? Okay, how do we talk about owing money, and how do we write that using math? Okay, because you can say it in words, but then what does that look like when you actually write it down in math? Or how would you say it in the language of math? Okay, so most of the numbers you are probably familiar with, that you've dealt with, are greater than or equal to 0. All right, so numbers that are greater than 0 are called positive numbers. There's another set of numbers, maybe you know them, maybe you don't, that are all below 0, that are less than 0. These are negative numbers. Okay, negative numbers are going to have that negative sign in front of it. That's this sign right here. Kind of looks like a dash. Okay, and then positive numbers will oftentimes have a positive symbol, right? The plus sign here. Sometimes they won't, though. I think it's normally, if the number doesn't have a sign next to it, it is assumed to be positive. Okay, mathematicians typically don't like to write a whole bunch of things if they don't have to, so they've come up with this sort of agreed upon standard that if a number doesn't have, like this one, like if a number 4, if it doesn't have a sign next to it, we think it's positive. Okay, so it's positive until we say that it's not. Okay, so like this is a positive 4 until we put a negative in front of it, and now it's not positive anymore. Okay, well, let's actually define integers, and this is definitely something I would write down in your notes so that when I come back to it, you say, what are integers again? Okay, integers are positive whole numbers, right? You're counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah, blah, blah. They're opposites, okay? So now we're talking about the negative ones, right? Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, okay? And 0. And these are all together make up the integers, okay? So integers are positive and negative whole numbers and include 0. So on a number line, when we move, there are 2 different types of number lines we have, right? So one of them is a horizontal one, and oftentimes this is the one you'll see in books, okay? And then you have a vertical one. I typically like to use the vertical number line if I can, just to me, because it makes more sense to me. So we'll work with both as we go. It's important to know how to do both of them, but up and down, I think, make more sense when you're looking at a vertical than up and down with the horizontal one, but I need to introduce it. So 0, okay? Another way of looking at 0 is some of you think of 0, you think maybe nothing, you know, that we don't have anything. 0 also at times is a starting point, okay? So if I start at 0 here, any move I make to the left is negative, right? I've moved 1 space to the left or below 0. This is 2 spaces below 0, 3 spaces below 0, 4 spaces below 0, and on and on and on. Okay, and then positive, which you are, I think, are very aware of, are it's more than, right? It's above 0, 1 above 0, 2 above 0, 3 above 0. Okay, and you're counting in the up direction. Okay, the negative ones you're counting in the down direction. Okay, so let's go ahead and using those ideas, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to draw these 2 circles in your notebook, and then I would like you to place each of these numbers, there are 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 numbers. I would like you to place each of these 13 numbers into the appropriate box. So put each number, if you think it's an integer, write the number in here. If you think it's not an integer, put it into that circle. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video and do that now. Go. All right. Hopefully you had a chance to do that. And so I'm just going to grab and pull the integers. Okay, these are all integers. These are the whole numbers, right? 99 is a whole number. 37 is a whole number. Negative 43 is a whole number. Negative 3 is a whole number. Positive 10 is a whole number. Okay, so those are all integers. And then these are not integers. Okay. And we'll talk about what type of numbers these are in a later date. Okay. But since these are not whole numbers, right, they have fractional parts to them. They have a decimal, a number after the decimal point. Then these are not integers. Okay, hopefully you did okay on that. If you have any questions, please write the question underneath, maybe circle it, highlight it, whatever you need to do, and then bring it to class, and I will try to answer any and all if possible. Okay, now we have this idea of absolute value. Now, if you remember when I was talking about the number line back here, I started talking about how far away it was from 0, right? I said -1 is 1 to the left of 0. -2 is 2 to the left of 0, and on and on. What I'm really doing there is I'm talking about this thing of absolute value, okay? And this is another thing I would write down in your notes. I would say write down the definition, okay? And we're going to talk about what is the absolute value, okay, of a number. So the absolute value describes how far a number is from 0. So let's take a look at a couple of these numbers here. So this first one, and this is what these bars here, this is an indicator of absolute value. So that's what this means. So that you'd read this thing here as the absolute value of 4. Okay, and what am I doing with the absolute value? I'm saying, well, how far away from 0 is the number 4? Well, the absolute value is 4 spaces away. Okay, so when you describe the distance, you're not actually saying above or below, you're not saying positive or negative, you're just saying how many numbers do I have to count in order to get there. All right, and here I have another one where I have the absolute value. That's what these lines on either side mean, right? The absolute value of -4, which means how far away is -4 from 0? Well, this one is also 4 places away. Okay, and I know some of you are probably like, what is the point of this? We'll get to that and deal. It's going to help us deal with opposites. It helps us deal with a lot of things later in math, in your future math classes. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to try to find out what is the absolute value of 9. So do that one, and then also do what is the absolute value of 11 or -11 here. Okay, go ahead. Okay, hopefully you had a chance to try. If you didn't, pause the video, try right now. But the absolute value of 9. So we're saying how far away from 9, or how far away from 0 is the 9? Well, that's going to be 9 places away. And then we're going to look at -11. We're saying, okay, how far away is -11 from 0? And that one is 11 places away from 0. So if you need to see what this looks like, okay, I'm going to draw a quick number line here. So let's do this. I'm going to do a vertical number line, okay? No, I don't want a dotted one, sorry. A straight one, we'll make it red. Okay, so here's our number line, okay? And what I'm looking at is I'm saying if this is 0, and then how far is 4 away from 0, right? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This number here is 4 places away from 0. And then if I in the other direction, -4, so I go to -1, -2, -3, -4. How far is -4 from 0? Well, it's also 4 spaces away, okay? So 4 and -4 are both 4 away from each other. They're just doing it in the opposite direction, okay? Well, that takes us back to this original idea of, or this idea we were talking about of opposites, okay? So opposites are numbers that have the same absolute value but have different signs, okay? They're moving in different directions, okay? So up 4, this is a +4, right? This means go 4 above 0, move 4 places away from 0 to the right or up. And this one goes in the opposite direction. This says go 4 places to the left or down. Okay, and the same idea here. I have -7. What's the opposite? This is going down 7. What's the opposite of going down 7? I'm going to go up 7. It's going to be a +7. Okay, they have the same absolute value. They're the same distance from 0, but they're in opposite directions. Okay, one goes left, one goes right. One goes down, one goes up. So then we're going to go ahead. You're going to take a look at these. Here's 9 and -11, and you tell me what are the opposites of 9 and 11. All right, hopefully you found that the opposite of +9 is going to be -9, right? This one is going up 9. This one is going down 9. They're both 9 away from 0, but they're going in opposite directions. Okay, and this one is -11, and the opposite of -11 is +11. Okay, so this says go down 11, right, or 11 places to the left from 0. This one says go right 11 to 0. Okay, and this is getting us to that idea that opposites together, when you add them together, right, they make 0. So think about this, if you're standing on a staircase and you walk up 4 stairs and then you come back down 4 stairs, you're going to be where you started. Okay, same here. If I go down 7 stairs and then I come back up 7 stairs, well, now I'm back at 0. You could think of it as money. I borrow $7. I get $7 and then I pay somebody back. Now I have $0 again. Okay. Here you could say I find $4 and then I spend $4. Well, I now have 0 again, or where I started at. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Remember, bring questions. I'm going to just show you. So on a number line, we're just going to place the numbers where they belong. Okay. As I'm looking at this, the negative numbers are going to go to the left of 0, and the positive numbers are going to go to the right of 0. Okay. The larger the number, the further away it is, and it just tells me the direction. So like 1 is not very far away, and it's going to be to the right because it's positive, and it's 1 away. 4 is positive, so it's going to go on this side, and so I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Plop it in there. -2. Okay, it's going to go to the left. It's going to go down. So I'm going to go 1 place is 2 place. Okay, it's an absolute value of 2 spaces away from 0, but the negative tells me which direction. Same idea here, -3. That means I go 3 places, but I go to the left. And again, 5, I'm going to go 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 5. And there we have it. Okay. And again, we'll try this one. I have -5. That means since this says 10, okay, we know that each of these boxes is worth 5, right? So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. In fact, I just counted off 15 and 10, 15, 20, 25. So I can put that there. I know that -5 is going to go on the left side here. I can count by 5s again. 5, 10, 15. So -15. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and I have -25. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. And this is going to be sort of on your own. I want you to take each set, okay? There's 5 numbers here, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to write them down like this, and then what I want you to do is write them in order from least to greatest. Okay, so you can either do this, it doesn't really matter how you do it, if you want to go up and down or you want to go left and right. So if you want to, in fact, I'll do the first one for you and then you can do the next 3. So if I'm going to arrange the first one from least to greatest, and I'm going to go from moving left and right, well then I'm going to put my negative numbers are going to be the lowest. I know 0 is in the middle. Excuse me. Excuse me. And then I'm going to put 2. Okay, that's positive, so that's my next positive number. Okay, and then I know 6 is going to be bigger than that. Okay, and then going to the left, so -3, and then -8 is the lowest, right? This number is farther away from 0 than 3, and it's in the negative direction. Okay, so 8 is farther away from 0, and it's -8, so it's farther away this way. Now, another way I could have done it is if I wanted to go up and down, I could say, okay, here's 0 in the middle. Well, +2 is going to be 2 above 0, and 6 is even higher than that. It's above that. Okay, and then if I'm going down, then I'm going to say 0 to -3, and then I can say -8 is even lower than that. Okay, so what I want you to do is pause the video and you order those, and we'll check them in class tomorrow. All right. Okay. Real quick, just fill in the appropriate symbol. This is greater than. Okay, you're always going to open. The symbol always is going to open to the larger number. All right, so I've got -5 and 3. So -5 is lower than 3. Okay, and then you do that last one, and hopefully you said that -7 is less than -4. Okay, -7 is less than. It's lower than that. This is 7 places below 0, and -4 is only 4 places below 0. Okay. Go ahead. I want you to do these on your own. So copy these down and put the appropriate symbols in. Go ahead and pause the video. All right, and then what I want you to do is we're going to talk about the opposites here again. Okay, so I have -3 is the opposite of 3, and then -7 is the opposite 7 of +7. So I want you to tell me, what is the opposite of -12? Hopefully you said +12. Okay, and you don't need the positive symbol. So then white. You don't need the positive symbol, but it's helpful. Okay. What about, let's see, what is the opposite of 33? Hopefully you said -33. And last, what is the opposite of -1? I don't know if you said +1. Okay, and if you want to put the positive symbol in there, you're more than welcome to. Okay. All right, last part here. There's an activity, okay, and I'm going to put in, I'm going to actually email you the link. All right, it's going to be the second link on the email. What I want you to do is I want you to go through it and I want you to compare the numbers. Okay, it's about comparing integers, and you're going to need to do at least 20 questions, and I want you to get at least 90% when you're done. So I'm going to walk you through this real quick. Okay, this is what the website is going to look like. You're going to have to scroll down to the game here, okay? More or less are the same. Okay, and I'm going to press start, and I'm going to look, is 47, which of these? More than, less than, same, okay? But those are the same. Okay, and now pick new numbers. 50 is less than 73. Okay, now -25, is that less than -88? No, -25 is actually more than. Okay, this is 25 away from 0, down. This is 88 away from 0, down. So -25 is more than -88. Okay, and you're going to go through. Okay, and I'll keep going. More than, less than, equal. -36 is less than, 96 is more than, 10 is less than, 23 is the same, -40. So I'm just going to keep going, all right? And actually, I'm just going to randomly pick some of these. Okay, and so now I've done 20 problems, right? I have 16 correct and 8 incorrect, but I only have 66% correct. So I need to keep going until I'm at 90%. And what you can do though is you can reset. So let's say if you get a lot wrong, it gets harder. So then you can click start and you can redo it, okay? And let's say I'm just going to click another couple things here. And then what I want you to do is see where it says report totals. You're going to click on report totals. I don't know if you can see this. Here, let me slide this over. Okay? So then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to highlight, okay? You're going to copy, and then you're going to put it in an email, and you're going to paste, and you're going to email it to me. Okay? Happy comparing. See you in class.